and at first I thought independent reading was not gonna work for me, but I made time, and I really enjoyed the book. I stayed up till like 12 just like reading the book, and I really enjoyed independent reading. So
Like, but it was like over time, I came to like grow. Like I came to grow as an independent reader and love what I'm doing. So it was actually like it was less of an assignment and more of like enjoying your time, like your free time. Read at your own pace, pick what you want. The project, you had complete creative control. You could do whatever. Like that was one of the things I probably loved the most about this assignment.
I mean, I really didn't have a particular genre. It was at first it was very hard to pick like what book I really wanted to read about, and I chose between two books. I started with one book, and then now I started with something called The Thunderhead. Or wait, what was the first?
It went Scythe, and the
It went
Thunderhead,
Scythe, yes.
and then the Toll.
Yeah, like I started with The Scythe, and it was just one book, and I loved that one book, and then now I switched to The Thunderhead, and I read the whole series. Now I'm incorporating independent reading on my own time. Now I'm reading more books that in all honesty I thought I was never gonna do.
Exactly. Like I picked up the first book, and then I was just like, wow, I can't put it down. And then I'd be like up at like 12, 1 a.m. like trying to figure out what happens next. And I would be texting John, like, John, did you read this part yet? Did you see this happen yet? And he was like, no. And then I had no one to turn to. And then I had to go to my other friends who already wasn't recommending me the book. And be like, what was it? Why didn't you tell me this was going to happen? Mm-hmm. So then I would go on to read the rest of the series like John. And it would just be like, it was like, wow, that was really great. Like, it was something away from schoolwork that I had time to enjoy by myself. Like, play some music, do whatever, take a break, and then I just read. Now I'm like exactly what John said. I'm incorporating more independent reading into my lifestyle, to give myself a break. So.
When I first heard that we were going to be independent reading, I immediately hated it because I haven't read a book before, in a sense, because I always had difficulty reading. I never could read a lot of words on the pages or read books that were over like 100 pages even. So at first I did not want to do it, but I looked around, got comfortable with all the books that I saw in the library, and then I finally took the time to read a book.
Yeah, I definitely was not excited to start reading in class until once I was given the time in class to actually read is when I was able to get into a book and actually want to read the book and keep going and find out what happens.
Reading. I was very excited when I found out that we were reading in class because I usually don't have time during the school year to actually take the time and read. So that was nice, and I read a few different books during that time period, so that was a good
High
thing.
school students, I feel like we're not given a lot of time out of school because especially taking AP classes, there's a lot of outside schoolwork that goes on, and even with sports and everything is just busy after school. And being on your phone, I feel like that's also a big thing that just doesn't give you the time to want to read. But I felt like once I actually started reading a book, I put the phone aside and managed my work better, so I could actually read a book and enjoy it.
Yeah, I agree. Once you really focus your mind to it and you find a book that's good for you, because I think a lot of students struggle with that as well, is just finding a genre that appeals to them. And once you find that, it's like you can't put the book down. And I think that reading in class was a big help because we had to find that genre we liked because we had to finish the book as an assignment, and I think that definitely prompted a lot of kids to want to read.
Finding time was definitely the number one problem. So when we were able to come to school, like in AP Ling, and be able to look at all these different genres of books and be able to try out new things and having the time to read here, it was like something clicked and I was just reading all the time. Like I got home from work and I read for 3 hours after, and then that's like how I finished the book.
So personally, I felt this experience was very different from any other year that we have done like independent reading in class, because you let us really have creative freedom with anything we wanted, and you let us time manage on our own instead of having like reading logs or stuff where you scheduled us to have a certain amount of chapters done at a certain time. And I think that helped everybody just want to read because you have that independence that in past years we haven't had. And then we were reading stuff that we actually wanted to read.
Like, it wasn't a rushed process, and it was like you kind of go at your own speed with the book. And I like, as you said, there was like a specific date we had to finish it by, but within those like that timeline, we could just read whenever we wanted to, and then we were able to read in class. And with us being able to pick the genre we wanted to do and like whatever project we wanted to do, it just made it a lot more enjoyable and a lot more like personal to us because we were able to choose what we wanted to do.